I had to work out before what was going on because I didn't know that I was, bringing this. This is meant to be my be right back kind of screen, but I had it set to the wrong key, so I was stopping the stream, chatting away. I just did like 25 minutes of talking to nobody. So anyway, I'm gonna jump straight in to catch up. This is gonna be a Blender stream, just kind of showing my workflow really. I won't be doing too much kind of like in-depth tutorial style stuff unless if people start getting interested. Obviously no one's even listening as I speak right now, but hopefully it will become helpful to people. I'm just going to record my live kind of process, and people will either watch. Sorry, I'm a bit self-conscious about that. Yeah, people will either watch and like it and interact and stuff, or they won't. So yeah, I'm going to be basically doing a bathroom scene based upon these 4 images as inspiration. I'm going to kind of be freestyling it though, as far as layout is concerned. These are just like, I'm looking at this and I'll go, okay, roughly it's going to be like that. And I'm going to take bits and bobs from each one. One final check. Yeah, we're still live. That's good. Okay. Yeah, so for this, I am using HardOps and Box Cutter, which are add-ons for Blender. They're paid add-ons, which you can get from Gumroad. And basically, I would recommend them if you're serious about modeling in Blender. They're targeting mainly sort of hard surface modeling for video game, which is something I do. But if you want a quick demo, you basically get this extra option, extra set of tools options by pressing D when you have the box cutter tool selected, and it enables you to kind of create shapes and create Boolean cuts. If you want to make yourself a piece of cheese, bit of Gouda or whatever it is, a lot easier basically. And it can be not only those kind of things, it can be all these kind of intricate shapes, and HardOps gives you these other options which enable you to kind of make fixes, and it's all non-destructive, which is what's good about it, so you can always return back to your original shape before you commit those actual things, which is great. So I use it generally for hard surface stuff, which is kind of going to be in most scenes. You're probably looking at the layout, or some of you might be looking at the layout thinking, oh, everything looks a bit different. Not only have I got these extra tools, which is HardOps and Box Cutter, I have changed the colors of my layout, and I've got a few other things added in, such as the free machine tools add-on from Gumroad, and a few different generators which are vanilla add-ons. So the Archimesh and Ivy generator are vanilla add-ons which anyone can get. So there's the Ivy generator, and if you were to go in and press ARC in the search, you get this Archimesh option. So yeah, that's the kind of the difference between those ones. And basically, yeah, I'm gonna just go for it. First things first is I am going to design a room. I'm just gonna do a basic room. There's loads of ways you can do it. Really, you could. I'll show you kind of, there's 2 ways, or there's 3 ways you could do it. You could do it with Archimesh by constructing a room using these things, which might be something you're interested in trying, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to use basic blocks for my rooms, which I might then break down into single panels or something like that. If I really cared about optimizing, but for this I want a high quality scene, and I want lighting to kind of be working as realistic as possible eventually. So let's just jump in. I'm going to go to orthographic view. I'm going to go to edit mode. So as you can see already, that's probably different to what you're used to, courtesy of the hard ops, machine tools and box cutter. You're going to see a lot of things that are different. If you want to see in-depth info on this, I would follow Josh Gambrell or Ryu from Blender Bros. They're the ones who I learned all of this stuff from. So I recommend following them. Amazing content. So yeah, I'm gone into edit mode. I'm going to select this face, and I'm going to just make this a thick kind of floor panel. And I'm just gonna, should have done that first really. I'm gonna make it quite chunky, quite big. Go for that. And make it thinner. So there's my floor. I'm not doing this to any scale because it's just a visual piece. Got my camera, which I'm just going to leave kind of like that for now. And yeah, and I'm going to add in another cube. This default clay is going to be the floor, so I'm going to do that. One thing you could do, so I'm working with centimeters here because I usually make models for Unreal Engine. And if you do want to just work to a general kind of, you know, depends how your brain sees units of measurement really. Where is it? Gone blank. So this one? I've completely, here it is, yeah, metric, so degrees, centimeters, length. We could change this to meters. So, you know, there's a pretty big space, 16 meters, so I'm gonna bring it into, let's just say I don't know, 5 by 5 meters. I'd say that's a pretty good size. Yeah, 5 by 5. And then I'm actually going to delete this cube. So we got our floor. I'm going to duplicate this. And this will be wall. I'm going to rotate it by 90 degrees on the on the X, sorry. And then I'm going to scale it along the Y, which you could just do here. So I'm going to make that 2.2 meters high. And then I'm going to move it. What's going on? Oh, apply the transforms, and then I'm going to move it along the Z, and then move it along the Y. Focusing on it with the period key on the number pad, if you're wondering how I was doing that. And then I'm just going to hold shift and fine tune the wall's position along the Y. It's gonna have some overlap. Totally fine. Okay, I'm going to duplicate this one and bring it back over here. Just roughly check it's, you know, working like a wall. And then I'm going to do it again. I'm going to rotate this on the X by, no, the Z by 90. Move that into place. Might be that I need to. Let's do some more transforms. One thing also is if you set all the transforms, you have to remember that the origin changes. So you might have to go back set that if you accidentally click all transforms, so it's probably not good teaching for me to say that all the time. Okay, got that. Duplicate it and move this across. Okay, we got ourselves a room. Pretty much sorted. And for our ceiling, duplicate the floor. If you want to get really accurate, you can go into wireframe mode and just kind of make sure you're covering all of the little slits. So you don't want, basically I'm doing this, you know, if you want to just make sure, you can just go like that, and then it's about not letting the light in. So that is what I want. I'm going to do the same with the floor. I'm just going to make it a little bit. Actually, I'm going to delete that one and just make a copy of the ceiling and bring this down. To there. Cool. So that is going to be our room. At this point, I would say save it wherever you want. This might take some time because it always does. I'm going to put this on the desktop. I'm just going to call this bathroom _1. Save that. Just so we got it. Now, the floor is the floor. I'm just going to put this as a roof, even though it's a ceiling, but I'm just going to put it as roof because it's more like a roof. And we have our walls. So I've set up these kind of collection folders. I would suggest making another one called room and dumping these in there so you have control of them. And that's cool. So another thing I like to do is to get set up initially with my visuals. So I split the screen, I set the camera up, and then I grab the gizmo, which is a kind of off-center. Oh, that's because of an add-on I've got, so that'll be different. But just basically get your camera where you'd want it, and then you can also look at changing things like the focal length. Sorry, I went blank then for a second. You know, maybe you want it 65mm, but I'm going to go something like 25mm. No, it's way too much. 35mm is what it was. We'll leave it at that for now. And I want to kind of be close to the wall. And maybe the resolution. No, the resolution's fine. So it's a case of playing around with this and what you want. It's a bit tricky actually, a bit of a tricky environment to get. I don't want to lose all of that space because it's a very small target. So yeah, I guess it is going to be something like a start here and try and work it out. Okay, 25 is all right. 25mm lens. I don't want that clipping though. That's the ugly bit. Okay. I mean, really, you could get rid of that wall, but then the lighting won't work exactly how I intend. I'm just going to leave it like that for now. You can play with your resolution to make it like a square resolution. So I'm just going to adjust this mic so I can sit normally. Okay, there we go. Okay, that'll do for now. If you want to readjust, you can just do the same thing or move it. I'm just going to join those areas, and that can be the rough scene. So what I am going to do is hide everything other than the floor and one wall. Oh no, actually, let's go back to here where we're going to have a window. Let's think. Let's have maybe a big, that window here. Okay. So I'm going to turn on box cutter, and I'm just going to take a little stab at making some windows. Maybe something like that. Or would it be bigger or smaller? Maybe something like this. No, that was a wedge. So I'm going to hit V, and that does an array. And then you can change the amount. I'm wondering something like this might be quite fun. Oh god, what have I done there? Well, I messed it up. Let's make these a bit bigger. Something like this and a bit higher. Yeah, a bit higher. Yeah, I reckon something like that. Go back to the array. Lower the amount. Space them out. I don't know why it's doing that though. Okay. Oh dear. Okay. I think I realise now. Goodness me. Okay. Now I've done that. Then that. And that should be it. Okay. Gravy. So we have our cuts. I'm going to isolate this individual piece and try and get rid of some of this shading issue. Okay, so I'm going to sharpen it first, and then I'm going to add on a weighted bevel. Oh, I just noticed. That's not good, is it? Alright. I think that's based on the angle. So I'm going to do that same thing, but I am going to just do it in orthographic mode so it's clean. It's really not working to my favor, is it? Okay, maybe it's to do with the fact that the scale and stuff's not right. What is going on? Let me just see here. Object. So this is based on the object. So it should. I've got box, cut, wedge box. Oh, hang on. I don't want wedge box. I just want standard box. What if I pressed? Okay. Okay, I had wedge box on. That's the start of it. But now it seems to be playing up big time. It's doing it to view. It should be doing it to the object. Local view. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. So that should really be doing it relative to the face. How annoying. Let's try view. Okay, that's on view, so that's working fine. Object should be... I mean, we all saw it working perfectly fine earlier. What have I pushed wrong? Pushed something by accident, I think. W is wedge. V is the array, which I don't want in this case. Yeah, X changes the type. How unfortunate. So that works. But it's doing this kind of annoying thing. I'm just going to test something out. Let's bring a new cube in. And let's see, now that's working. No, it's not. What is going on? Okay, somehow I've messed something up. I'm going to start again. I'm going to reopen Blender because I cannot be bothered to figure that out. Let's just see what's going on. So with box cutter on, oh, you have to have the object selected. Yeah, okay, so that's working fine. Okay. Let's start again. Painful, but that's the problem of this stuff. I think I must have let's look at this stuff. I must have pushed something that I'm unaware of. Because it's working fine now. Interesting. Interesting. Frustrating, but interesting. So, try again. On the Z-axis. Oh yeah, change units to meters. Open it up. And expand our floor. What did we have? We had 5 by 5. And then bring that down so it's like a floor. And then I'm going to do the ceiling. That can be, let's say, 2.2 meters off the top. Duplicate. So that's floor. That's roof. This is wall. Wall can be rotated by 90 on the X. And it can have its scale applied. I'm going to move that to about there. Move this. Oh, move this on the Y. Is that what it is? Yeah. Okay, so that's because I haven't applied the rotation. Okay, so let's apply the rotation and scale. So now I should be able to manipulate that like normal. Yep, great. Focus in on that. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. We have our wall. Now I can duplicate that. Rotate it by 90 on the X and move that in to place. Now I'm going to do this probably even rougher than before, just to get it done and back to where we were, because really it's just about having that inner square cube thing. There we go. Plop. Okay. Now we're back. I'm going to forget about the camera movement. We'll set that up later. So now I'm going to just say this is the front. Therefore, that's going to be where those windows were. I'm going to set the origin to the geometry. Now let's test it out. Huh. Still doing weird stuff. Maybe it's to do with me setting the origin. I don't know what's going on here. This tool has not behaved this way for me before. All transforms. It's like it's only letting me that's the cutters. Let's delete all of them. That just doesn't make any sense to me, really. See, that's working fine. So it is related to something to do with this. So let's see what the difference is between this and a cube. The settings are the same. I'm wondering, it must be to do with its position in on the grid, because that seems to be working. Still not working properly. I'm wondering, is it location? Okay, that's working from that side. That is odd. So, working from inside, it doesn't work. But from outside, it does. I guess that's the workaround for now. It's to work from this side. But that's really bad. So I'm going to have to make a... Well, I've got the video. It's definitely bugging out. Well, that's what I wanted to do, but that was way too long to do that. Usually you can just go click, 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 and it's done. But it's probably, maybe it's something I've done wrong. I'm not too sure. I've made loads of different things with this, and it's been fine. but I could just have made some kind of error in my method. But I was thought that, you know, as long as, see, that's working from there. Oh, so when you work inside, so is it related? It must be related to the cursor then, I wonder. So let's test out. Sorry, I'm just doing some testing at the moment. I guess cursor to selected. It's not related to the cursor then. It's like it's definitely related to the grid. Okay. So I don't think that's very good. I think that's pretty bad. And they need to sort that out, because if you can only work on one object, bang on the center, then it makes it very much only a tool for single objects, which is a bit annoying, really. But I mean, I guess now that I know that, I'll have to work around it. So yeah, basically what I wanted to do was get that window kind of set in there, then bring the camera in, get it into a position that's kind of, that seems to be moving it in ways I don't want. So let's make this 90 degrees so it's kind of parallel. Get a bit of that, get a bit of that. It's actually quite hard to tell what I'm doing. So let's set this to wireframe and bring that closer. I'm going to set this to 25 mil. Let's go 30 mil. And I want something like that. Okay, that'll do for now. So that'll be able to get a rough kind of lighting setup. So now I'm going to save it again over the bathroom one we had before. Yeah, so what I'm going to do, I think, is all the objects, I'll make them in the center of the grid, then bring it to it, which I guess is better practice anyway. And then the tool should work properly. It's just for the room, it seems that I can't just go making cuts when the object is kind of taken away from the center point of the grid, which is annoying, but I guess it makes sense in some way. So I'm going to have my room in there. Our cutters are part of box cutter, so I'm going to dump them into the utility box. And that's it. So one thing I'm going to do is save it again at this position, and then go over to the cycles rendered view. Which has a denoiser on it at the moment. And I've got a, what do you call it? So if you go to shading in the world options, I have this sky texture, which is what you're seeing, which is what you're seeing in the background, as well as a HDR. But the HDR isn't actually there, so I'm going to find just a random external HDR that I like, and I'm going to choose that one. I think that one's fine. We've got a blend. You can do a bit of a blend. So that's the sky texture, that's the HDR on its own. So I'm just going to have the HDR on its own for a second, just to find the kind of lighting I want. That's almost like a garage, like you're in an underpass or something. I want. Oh, I don't want something that dark. I do want something. I want something bright and vibrant. So I'm just gonna. I've only got a couple of examples here. I think the field was probably the best so far. It's a bit yellowy, isn't it? But that'll be all right. I'm gonna bring in this to about 0.1, and I think that's fine. So we've got like a kind of hillside thing. If you're looking for more HDRIs, the place to go is Poly Heaven, and you can go straight to this HDRI link, and you can you actually see this? I hope you can. Yeah, you can. So you have all these options. I am going to try and find an urban one, a bright urban one. Doesn't, maybe not. Outdoor. That looks alright. Something like that. Maybe not. Let's go for. That's a bit funky, isn't it? That one. But now we go for something. I want something bright, not sunset or dramatic. I want it bright. Derelict overpass. That doesn't sound great, does it? Okay, natural light. High contrast. Okay, let's forget about the urban. Let's go natural light. Let's just find a big open space, bright trees. Yeah, okay, let's just try this one. I'm going to download the 4K. And it is a case of going back in here and then just opening that HDRI. Okay, that's a bit nicer, bit brighter, bit funner. Although the hills, having the hills from this one is a nice little touch to the actual render. So let's just stick with this. Let's just stick with this, and we could always play around with some of these things. But I'm just going to leave it at that. We got a decent enough lighting setup here as it is. So I'm going to go back in to the environment, and one thing I am going to do, I'm going to come back into solid view, is I am going to hide our room. And I think just a good idea would be to create some windows. So I'm going to use the basic cube, and in edit mode, we can use some generic scaling. So I'm going to make it thinner and taller, and bring its overall scale down. And I'm also going to make it so I can only see that. And quite simply, I'm going to do a few ways you could do it, but I'm just going to do an inset, scale it on the Z, and do an extrude on the inside, and that will probably do. Actually, no. Let's try. I just want to test if box cutter is working properly. So turn it on. Go to that, and I'm going to do a cut like this. Give it a kind of fairly thick. Okay, yeah. Okay, so it's working fine. It is definitely to do with the fact that there was like an offset or something. It wasn't working in relation to the center of the grid. So we've got window frame. I'm just going to set a very simple metal underscore black material, and temporarily I'm just going to make it fully metallic, not fully rough, and make it like a really dark color. I'm going to go into that kind of preview mode just so I can see how. Don't want it super reflective, but you know, want that metallic look. And there is that. I'm then going to add in, oh, that's not what I wanted. I'm then going to add in another object. Oh, pushing all kinds of wrong buttons here. Plane. And this is going to be the glass. No, actually. No. I want to do another cube. And I'm going to go into this mode, get it to be about that big and about that wide. Go to the side view and scale it in on the Y. So it is nice and thick, because I want it to be quite thick glass. Again, I'm going to go a bit more on that, which we could just scale here. So I'm going to go minus 0.2. We'll go for that. Is that thick? So isolate that one. Yep, that's fine. Okay, and then I'm going to add a new material to that one. Called glass. So for that material, I am going to give it full transmission. Bring down the roughness to pretty much nothing. Put that up to full. Give it a little bit of transmission roughness. 0.2, just to see what that's like. And then I'm going to go to this mode. Okay. Okay, so it's the sun looks a bit strange on it. Interesting. That's something I've not come over before. That's an issue with the sky in the shading, world shading. It's an issue with the sky texture, I imagine. But I'm going to get that in position first with everything else. And show the room. The cube is going to be the glass. And I'm going to bring them both into the room. And I'm going to put another collection called windows. And put the glass in there and the window frame in there. zoom in on these, rotate them on the Z by that. One thing I need to make sure I do is on the window frame, I need to apply the Boolean. Don't know why that's got a Boolean on it, but I'm going to apply it. And that means that when we move things, we're just not going to get issues. So I'm going to roughly get it in the right position. I'm going to select these and just isolate them, so I don't have to mess around, and get these roughly in the right spot. Scale on the X. Pretty simple. I'm not doing anything too in depth, you know. So I'm just going to duplicate that. You could array these. Oh, what am I doing? Move on the Z. You could just set up an array, but I can't be bothered with that. I'm just gonna copy and move them over, and then select all of them. Oh, select all of them, copy them, and that should roughly be in the right spot. Okay, so now if we click out of here, go to our view and turn this on, so they are, it's got to be to do with what is that going, what is going on? Is there something strange going on with these? So we've got we're just not getting those shadows anymore. It's to do with that sky texture. That sky texture is messing things up. Okay, so I think I'm going to go back to this just to have a look, see if it's this. That is very strange. Maybe it's to do with the roughness. No, not that at all. Maybe the HDR is just... it looks like it's working fine. Yet again, another issue that I've literally never seen in my life. What could that be? It's not the sky texture. It's not the HDR either. It's got to be the material. So the material's got something going on. Ah, maybe it's to do with the UVs. Right. Okay. Okay. First things first, I need to go back and get rid of, let me hide all of these. Come back in here. It's probably UVs. Oh dear, not that. turn off that. Let's go back to a single one and delete them. Now I'm going to, focus on that. I'm going to go into edit mode, select the entire thing. I'm just going to do a smart unwrap. And I'm going to do the same for this. Select the whole thing, smart unwrap. Now we've got some UVs. Okay. So now looking through, oh, we still got that orb. What is that orb? It is like it's the HDRI though. But I've literally not seen this before. I'm just going to bypass all of that and go straight to here. Interesting. Interesting but annoying, not good for demonstrations. I'm not sure what that is. Let me, oh, I'll keep going on that. What was I going to do? One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly open up another project. I'm going to close this down. I'm going to open up my terrarium project and just see if that's visible on my other project, because it is very strange. So this is my terrarium project. Hopefully all the textures are there. I have moved them since, oh god, there we go. Let's take denoising off, just see, now it's not happening here. And this is all off center. So I'm just going to select this single piece of glass and look for that thing, that issue. Doesn't occur on this project. And he said project then. And that's very strange. Maybe it's the HDRI itself. Let's change it to this new HDRI that I've got in here. Ba boom, boom, boom. Oh no, I was using this one once Let's go back to layout. See, that's fine. What's going on? Sheen. Is there any difference? That one seems perfectly fine. Let's rotate it on the Z button. Oh god. Rotate it on the X by 90. No, the Y. Things are just not working, are they? Oh, I know what that is. That's because it's booleaned. Right, okay. So now if I rotate that on the X by Z by 90. I can look in there. See, that's how it should behave. Okay, so what on earth is happening with that other one? What have I got different about this? I don't think I've got anything different. It's just the standard principled shader with a transmission, light amount of transmission roughness. That's a lot less transmission roughness. Let's see if, putting that out will just change how frosted it looks. Okay, so let's go back into this bathroom scene. I'm not going to save that. So what is the issue with this one? It can't be that. Surely not. This has got nothing to do with it, really. Let me try applying it to a standard cube. Okay, so look, it's not even what that is going on. Right, I'm going to delete it. I don't know what that thing's problem is. Everything's out to get me. Everything is out to get me. Okay, so I'm going to I'm going to scale it like that and then like that. Oh, maybe I just worked out what it was. Glass. No, I think I might have, maybe I inverted it by accident on the, I think I was doing like -y or something. That might have been what it was. Look, I keep doing it as well. So I'm just going to do it with edit mode. This is just not going my way. I'm going to do that and make it nice and thin. And then I'm going to double check. See, that's working like it should now. I don't know the solution. I think what I've done is when I was making edits to it, I think I might have gone into the minus or something. And probably that's what's caused an issue. And that sphere is probably the radius of the light or something, or something along those lines anyway. So now I'm going to have to, I'm going to move this to the 3D cursor. And then I'm going to rotate it on the Z by 90. And then I'm going to fit the glass to it. By getting it like that, and then getting it like that. And then I should be able to do the same thing. Origin to geometry, then move it to the cursor. Okay, now fingers crossed. It looks like glass, and it's not doing that weird stuff. Now I should be able to make this 0.05 or something like that, and then it's a bit tinted. Okay, awesome. God, what a pain, eh? What a pain. So now, if I unhide all of these, grab this and raise it up, I'm going to isolate all of them. Which one is this? Well, I'm going to make this a tag with windowed. How long have I been streaming for? Probably way too long for the amount of content that I've actually done. I haven't actually got very far, other than... Oh. I'm going to... All transforms. So I'm just having to double check to make sure that I'm not getting that weird issue anymore. Cool. Let's position the first one. Should fit fine because it's exactly the same one. And I'm going to go from this side first. Duplicate GY to move it. Then grab everything. Duplicate GY. And then duplicate GY. Okay, and then grab all of them. GX into the middle. And in theory, when we go to this, we finally have a more closer representation of what I wanted. So if we take away the transmission roughness completely, make sure that this is all clear. Yep, that's clear. And that is good. That is good. So that's fine. So one thing I am going to do now is I'm going to go into the shader and just play around with what one looks better. See, now I'm pretty sure that when we first put this in, we had like a really good blend. I think just the sky, the HDRI on its own is better, but now I'm getting this kind of evening vibe, and don't think that's what I want really. I want like a really obvious that's not too bad actually. Once we start getting objects in there, that might be alright. I'm just going to put that up to 5. No, not 45, 5. We'll leave it at that. That'll be fine. If I want to change it afterwards, then we can. Back into the editing. So, we've got windows and a room. That took ages though, didn't it? Way too long. So the next thing I'm going to model is, let's get the bath done. So firstly, need to sort of think about what shape I want to start with. I'm just going to start with a cube. Cavity can come back on. And let's just get a rough shape. So I'm going to start by scaling it on the y-axis. I think what 1.5 oh, not 15, 1 meter what's a bath? Maybe, yeah, 1.1 meters, 1.1 meters wide by about 2 point, let's just say 2 meters wide and a meter high. So in relation to the room, that's massive. Okay, so the bath is probably going to be like that, isn't it? Let's say. Yeah, I reckon it's about that. Maybe that's even less actually. So let's grab the top, bring that down. Cool. That's fine. So now I'm going to sharpen that. And I'm going to apply a bevel. And there it is. And sorry, I just got delivered a tea. And right. Here we go. Edge mode. I'm going to select these edges. And I'm going to run a bevel. Go for something like that. So what's that? How many segments is that? That's 5. So I'm going to go 4. I'm going to go for 12. And make it quite prominent. Okay. So one thing we can do there is run weighted normals. Maybe that's the cavity that's making that look a bit silly. Yeah. Oh, I'm just getting all kinds of issues that I don't usually get, that I've never seen before. Okay, so that's probably to do with the fact that let's just so I can see what's going on here. Let me on the bevel first. Let me see. To run the normal. That works fine. I'm just going to move on because it's getting on my nerves. So let's bring the tub in like that. Probably going to want to bevel this as well. Not as many because you're probably not going to see it as often. We'll go with 3. Something like that. Oh, that looks terrible. Okay, so again, it's playing up. It's doing stuff that's just I've not seen before. Usually you don't get these harsh edges, and I guess that's to do with the bevel. One, I'm just gonna try. Oh, point. It's 0.01. No, it's not. What is going on then? I'm just gonna take away the bevel for now and just see what's going on. So it's like the normals aren't working at all. Control Shift. So the sharpen helps a bit. On the outside, that's helped a little bit. It looks alright, but it's just not what I wanted. I'm just going to go with it. I'm just going to go with the flow and see. Oh, hang on. Have I got... Yeah, that should be not as much as that, though. Okay, I'm going to keep that there, but I'm gonna hide it. I just want to see what happens if I bring in a new one and just scale it like the window. Where are the windows? The windows are that way, so let's scale it on the Y. About that. And again, it might be to do with the fact that I didn't set the location and scale and stuff like that. It could be that. So let's apply. Let's try that with scale. Ba-da-bum. Let us do a bevel. I'm going to set that to 0.1. Although it doesn't look that great, let's try 0.0. 4. Yep. Then I just want to see if I go edit, edge mode. Oh, you silly bugger. Right, there you go. Okay, I think it's because I think I applied a sharp before. Right. Oh god. Yeah. Okay. So hiding. Going back to this one. I just didn't realize that I'd applied a sharp, so I think that means I have, yeah, a mean bevel weight and stuff like that. Okay, so okay, I'm gonna delete this one. We've got pretty much back to the same thing. So don't apply sharps. That's what it was. Back to object mode. We've got bevel. We've got I'm gonna put a weighted normal on just so it's there doing its thing. Face, bring that in, extrude it. I'm gonna scale that in. To like there, so you get some light, and then I'm gonna bevel this with less detail. And there we go, 10 times better. The depth of that is probably not enough, so I'm going to bring it down so it's a nice deep tub. And there we go. Okay, Christ, that took a while, didn't it? Tub. Tub done. I could probably increase, I should have increased the quality of these bevels really, but I think that'll be fine for the scene. Okay, so we got ourselves a tub. That is fine. That doesn't need anything more. The tap, I'm not going to do the same as that. I'm going to do it kind of coming out of it, I think. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So where are the windows? We've got the windows there. I'm going to do my own sort of design for this, but with the industrial sort of thing in mind. So I'm going to just do a little thing there, and I'm going to scale it probably like that. And I'm going to extrude the little panel like so. I'm going to bring that back down. One thing I'm going to do is isolate this tab and go to the side view. And then one little tool that's good to use is the spin tool. Now, it does this kind of thing. So you could make a basket. Not that we want to do that, but this works in relation to the 3D cursor. So I'm going to shift and right click, and you can make these kind of shapes. So I'm going to get it real tight in just to see what we can get. It's a bit too candy cane like for me. Okay, so I'm going to take that off and I'm going to bring it down quite a substantial amount now. I'm going to come in on this and I'm going to do one more extrusion. I'm going to make it a smaller thing like that. And then I'm going to go back to extruding it, and let's snap it to the grid, bring back our spin tool, change that to the X. Whoa, don't want that. And then I'm going to experiment with sorry, so many buttons. Nope. Maybe it's like up here. Nope. Out there. Nope. Okay, so I want it to go like that. So I want... It's going to be about there, I assume. Okay. That's what I want. That's what I wanted. But that doesn't look right to me. What's going on there then? What is going on there? Okay, so something strange. Something strange is happening here. So let's select this loop. This is where that stuff can come in. Oh no, that's not... Just when you think you're doing fine. Right then. So, this is another issue. I'm going to try... I don't really know what to do here. Okay, let's go back. Let's try it. The shading doesn't help. Leave that as it is. Okay, so it's the... okay, so it's overlapping bevels. So the bevel is too big for it. So let's try 0.1. How is that still too big? Okay. Okay, we've gone right down to the minuscule. Oh dear. It's pretty much not worth having a bevel on it. I'm wondering, really, this should be a separate object then. Yeah. Okay. So, pain in the anus, but I'm going to have to do it. So I'm going to have to select all of this. Oh. Let me think. Face select. Oh, god dang this. So many buttons. Okay. I want to go to X-ray mode in face select. and select all of this, and then P to separate it as its own object. I'm then going to go to this bath on its own, and I'm going to patch up that because that might cause problems later on. So I'm going to select all of these and I'm going to delete them. Delete those faces. Then I'm going to go back to edge select, grab this loop and make it a face. Okay, so we're good. Now we have our bathtub and we have our tap. Tap. Okay. Okie dokie. So now with our bathtub we can reapply our bevel of 0.04 or whatever it was, 0.04. I think it was maybe double 0.01. 0.04. Yep. And was it at the top? I think it was at the top. Yep. So now with this, I'm going to put this back to the top. And I'm going to put this at 0.001. And just find that decimal place that actually works. I don't know why it's been so strange though. I'm going to start again with all of this. It is an odd shape. So I'm just going to get rid of the bevel weight. God dang it. Okay, so it's been unmarked. And isolate it. But it's got nothing on the bottom. Yeah, I have a suspicion that this stuff makes all the difference with these tools. I'm going to apply the scale. And then I'm going to try a bevel. Still doesn't like it there, does it? Just don't get it, you know? I'm just going to start again. This is what I always do. I end up getting to the point where I'm like, you know what? Bollocks to it. I can't be asked to, you know, it's just, what's the point in, if it's broken, it's broken. Firstly, this can go, this is done. So I'm going to put it where I want it. Which is basically over here. Oh, that's that kind of tub that you want. You don't really want it flush against the wall, but kind of suits it. So I'm gonna have it like that. Okay, I'm just gonna give it a bath material and just not gonna be the final one, just so it's different to the rest. Yeah, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to block the scene out a bit better. So these are going to be Oh no, it's starting to add objects to the... Yeah, you got to be careful with that. You got to make sure you haven't got the wrong thing selected. So this is going to be cab. No, sync. So that's going to go here. I'm going to make them bigger. Wider. Oh. And then let's go into this view. Grab the entire thing. So this is really where I can start to actually get the scale correct, because before... Oh, actually that needs to stay the same, doesn't it? Yeah, okay. Okay, so have these cabinets, which I'm going to give just a wood_1 texture, which is just going to be a color for now until I put an actual texture on them. That's probably about right, isn't it? And yeah, I think that's fine. And let's just do some edits. I was going to do the tap. I know I've just completely changed direction, but what can you do, eh? So I'm just going to do that. Select that loop and that, and then I'm going to add one more little loop here, and then do that. Select that, and then Alt S, scale that up a little bit like that. That just gives it a ridge on the top. Probably do the same on the bottom. Just a little thing like that. And I'm going to go in the opposite direction there. And then I'm going to select. So suddenly that's not a loop. I don't know why. But I'm going to select them. I'm going to bevel. I'm going to bevel them. The whole thing needs to be beveled with the modifier. And that's alright, actually. That's not too bad. Then I'm going to... what kind of thing do we have here? Just... yeah, okay. I'm going to do a fairly direct... I quite like that style that they've got going, so I'm going to give it... I'm going to give it 4 segments, though. And I'm going to give it 1 extra about here. Then I'm going to go back to face select these. And I'm going to do that thing, and I'm going to make that nice and deep. Check that out. Yeah, that's not too bad. Then these are going to be cupboards. And if you double tap I, you can get these in separate kind of inset ones. And yeah, that's fine. So I'm going to just go bosh like that. So these are like little things like that. But then what I'm going to do is these 2 end ones, I'm going to, if I remember rightly, I can Is it Control Shift? No, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, we got some issues here. Let us add. Let's see what we got going on. Why? Oh, it's okay. So it's something to do with how close it is to the bevel. Let's try that. I'm just going to put them back like that and see. That's fine. And then apply the weighted normal. Sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Okay. So I want doors on this one. So what I wanted to do was to there is a way you can just make a EM macro, is that the one? Panel, I believe. Let's try that. Oh, no. How do you do it? Show me the goods. Control Shift and P. So then if let me just yeah, that's not what I wanted. I want to, can I duplicate it? Let's see. Yeah, that works. Okay, and then got that selection. I'm going to make that door. So it's about the same size. Oh, G, Y. What? Oh, okay. Sorry. G, Y. To here. And I'm going to edit it and extrude it so it's got some thickness. You could add the thickness, what's it called, the solidify modifier, but you can just extrude it. So why wouldn't you? Excusez-moi. Right. Okay. So to the front view, I'm gonna now, dare I, use box cutter just to get a little groove. Oh, that's way too close there. Okay, let's do that instead. Just want a little groove in there, like that. So I'm now going to go to Everscroll, and I'm going to grab the actual what do you call it? The actual cutter. I'm just going to see. Oh, I'm just going to see what is going on there. Okay, so let's try a sharp. Oh no. Let's try going back to this and applying a sharpen. Okay, maybe it's the bevel was too much. 0.03. It's 0.053. Okay, so that's the big bad one. Whoa, we're making it worse. Okay, let's go 0.4 again. 0.6. 0.9. It's not looking great. Okay, or is that to do with the fact, did I wedge it at all? I wedged it. Let me just hide that. No, it's not wedged. We don't want it super sharp. We don't want it super sharp at all. So 0.07 was okay. I'm going to reset that back. Oh. Why does this keep going to that percentage as well? From here, I don't care enough about it. I think that's fine, to be honest. And my point was to have this rotate on like that axis and then move it locally, globally, so the doors like open a bit. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I was going for. But I also need to, I think, maybe join these two so they're back to being a single object. Oh no, we don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. What I want to do is set the origin to the 3D cursor. Oh no, so the 3D cursor isn't where we want it. We want the 3D cursor in the origin point, which is there. Then we want to set the origin to the 3D cursor. Then what I want to do is apply... What boolean is this? I don't know what that is, so I'm going to get rid of it. Which one is this? That must be the... Yep, that's the handle. So I'm going to apply the handle and then I can fix that issue manually. The bevel is the bevel. Okay, so I'm just going to apply all of these. Which can go to operations, multiply. Then if I single out this, go into edit mode, we can see I'm going to get rid of the weight normal and reapply it. It's not helped. Not helped at all, has it? Okay, so vertices. See what it is. What's the issue? It's definitely the bevel is the problem. Interesting. That's not what I want. Okay, so I'm gonna... Oh god, don't want to do that. I'm going to... Just gonna do that and see what happens when I bring that down. Okay, so that's some super scrappy cleaning, and I've added probably needless topology, but I don't care. It's fine. If it's just a visual piece, this was game asset, maybe you'd care about that, but you know, I don't. So now I've set the origin to, so that's the 3D cursor, and I'm just going to test out whether or not the mirror works. Well, sort of. Okay, so the way to do this is to grab this, set the origin to the center of the geometry of this, then set the 3D cursor to the... Oh dear. Set the 3D cursor to the selected. Then we set the origin of this to the 3D cursor. Then we go like that. And then there we go. I'm a genius, aren't I? Okay, so now we got our two things. Then we can go operations multiply, and then add modifier, apply all the modifiers. So now we have that. We need to make them separate doors because we've got, this is just one object, and I want to be able to control whether or not the doors open and close. I want them to open and close independently for the renders. I just want that one open. So we need to separate them. So they are already separate to the cabinet. I'm going to go and isolate them. I'm going to go into X-ray, into edit mode, face select, sorry, X-ray in edit mode, grab all them, remove P to make them separate selections. So we have door 1 and door 2. Then we can set the geometry, the origin to the geometry. What is going on here? That makes no sense. I want the cursor to go back to the origin of the grid. Okay, yeah, now this is back to the geometry. Why is that's not in the center of the geometry? Something strange. Anyway, apply all transforms. Then, again. Should I worry? Probably, but I don't. Okay, I'm going to rotate this on the... Whoop, 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 whoop. I'm just going to do it with this. Rotation on the... Yeah, that's not good. So if you wanted it to rotate... Oh, I want it to rotate. I would set the... You would have to use the cursor again. Okay, I'm going to isolate again the whole thing, come down to here. It's a bit wonky in it, the door, but oh well. If I wanted it to, let's just say, I'd want it to pivot from here, so I will put the cursor, oh dear, I want the free, oh, what am I doing? I just want that one selected, and then I want to put the cursor to the vertex. Perfect. Okay, that's exactly what we want. And then in object mode, set the origin to the 3D cursor. Okay, then this can be global or local. Oh, yeah, we want global. And then when I do that, yes, okay. So now we got the door, and then you can set the, you can, oh dear, don't want to do that. I've got two of them now, so we delete that by accident. So now, now we need to rotate it, but I want to bring the cursor back to where it was, so the cursor can go back to the origin. That has its new origin point. Everything can come back in the scene, and we can now rotate that door on the Z-axis and get the whole shebang like we wanted. With some lighting that's better. So now I'm going to actually increase the size of all of this. And then go like that. And then select off. Okay, so scale wise we now have a cabinet, bathtub, and that's all good. Taking away the denoise, just so I can sort of make it out. roughly. It's pretty good. So now I'm gonna just play around with. I do want a bit of transmission roughness. One, I reckon. Okay. Okie dokie. I think this whole. I'm gonna put this as cabinet. Door underscore closed. And I'm going to create a new thing called sink area. And that will be under that. Alright. I'll go back to denoise. Denoising the scene. I'm going to save it at this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now start doing some basic texturing. I think first things first. Hang on, have they got bevels? No, they haven't. Okay, so I'm going to do the room. And quickest thing to do is just to select all for these things and just do a smart unwrap. This one has a boolean, so I'm going to apply the boolean, which is the cuts. Select everything. Smart UV project. What I'm doing is the cheat way. I don't think we're going to need to worry about it too much, I hope. And what I'm going to do, first things first, is do the wall, this back wall. So I'm going to create a new material, and I'm going to do is call it plaster _1. So, one thing we can do is I have a add-on called the Node Wrangler. So you want that enabled, because that'll just make texturing and setting up materials 10 times as fast. And what I'm going to do is go to the shading view, leave it as it is. Yeah, I'll leave it as it is. No, I'm gonna zoom in on this particular wall and go to the object mode, and then I'm gonna go find my textures. So if we go here, I'm just gonna delete that. If we go to, well, obviously we go and find your textures. So I've downloaded a load from Ambient CG. And I'm just going to choose, I think that one. Yeah, that one's pretty good. So I'm just going to grab the color, not the displacement. I'm just going to grab the normal and the roughness. Actually, we'll just bring them all in and see how we go. Oh, hang on. I've forgotten. I've forgotten some major steps here. So Node Wrangler, you don't do it like that, do you? Is it Control T? No. Node Wrangler, let me remember. You have to, so if you go to the documentation, control, so I think, yeah, is it control right click? Let's get rid of that, sorry. Go into here, Ooh, I don't remember, you know. Shift control. So add control shift multiply it. It is like a merge using mixed node. So let's look it up. Node Wrangler hotkey Blender. It's just taking me back to this, isn't it? Oh, it's just I can't remember what it is. I think it's like control. I seem to remember. So control T is just a basic setup. But with that selected, is it shift T or alt T? It's definitely not alt T. Well, this will do some of it, but there is a way where it just opens up. Haha. Okay, so I think it's control shift T. Then you go and find your stuff. Your textures. So ambient CG, plaster. What one did I want? Was it 2 or 1? It was 1. We'll go for this one. Okay, so then you select your textures that you want, and then principled shader setup, and that's it. It sets it up for you. You can do this manually, really not that difficult, but that saves a load of time. So then what you can do is you can come into here, and it has a mapping node which allows you to increase the scale of it, which is what we want. So if we come into here now, we start getting a better looking thing. So now I'm going to apply the plaster to all the walls and even the floor. Actually, I'm just gonna stick it on everything, and then that way we start getting more accurate lighting being generated overall. So now we've got our plaster. It doesn't look too great because we've got this denoising going on. But yeah, so now we've got this bath material. I'm going to do the same, but I'm going to choose the other plaster. You can choose whatever materials you want. So I'm going to go back to here, choose plaster. I've forgotten. Was it plaster 2? Yeah, no, this is plaster 1. Okay, so choose that, and that. And then principled shaded texture setup. For this, we haven't done a UV map, so that is why we've got these horrible looking. I don't want to be destructive, so I'm just going to select everything and do an unwrap because we have sharps. No, we don't. We have, okay. Is that a loop? Is that selected, that loop? The edge select, grab that edge. I'm going to just mark that as a seam. Okay, quickly, I'm going to just isolate the tub and select that. Let's just see what that comes out like. Mark seam, select the whole thing, unwrap it. That's a lot better. Okay, great, great, great. So then, same principle, I'm just going to do ×2. Now I want it super fine, so let's go 5 by 5. Awesome. Okay, okie dokie. So now we have our tub. Oh, looking better. And now we're left with the wood one. So again, we're going to have to unwrap the cabinet. So one thing also is I'm going to bring it. Oh dear. How deep? Yeah. We'll lose it. We're wasting plenty of it. Global. Let's make it deeper. There we go. So it's got a bit more. A few more cavities for things to create shadows. I want it a bit taller, so I'm just going to do that. Save your work. Always worth doing. And now, let's do the cabinet first. Let's get into edit mode. I'm just going to do a smart project because it's a fairly complex shape. And for the sake of just getting things done, I just want to do a smart project. Because I was super sluggish at the start of this. And I need to catch up. Okay, so now in our materials, we've got our wood kind of set up. Oh, let's go to the preview mode just so things load a bit better. And then Control Shift T on the principal shader. And I'm going to go to my ambient CG. That's a website, by the way. If you just Google ambient CG, you can get a load of free materials. So I'm just going to go through these, just see which one is roughly what I want. So wood, was that wood 4? Yeah, wood 4 is my contender. Let's have a look at the color tones of this one. So it's quite a light wood, but that's quite a nice one. That's not bad either. That's the flooring. Okay, so it's between 4 and I'm going to try this one. Beauty of it is you can just try them. Hang on a minute. Why didn't that work? Wood 7. Bosh, 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 bosh. Bop. There we go. I mean, overall, that's not too bad. Again, it's this, isn't it? So it's just changing the scale of things. And then seeing how it looks with the light. Now, is that the grain that makes it look a bit... Yeah, because we got this... Is that a displacement? Yeah. Okay, so the displacement is going to have to go down to like 0.1, I think, for me. Let's go down to point. Really don't. I'm just going to try the displacement. Gone. Yeah. No displacement's better, in my opinion. So now our scene is looking a little bit better. If we wanted to control, let's say, the color, we could put in like a mix RGB node or something, and then, you know, control the tone a bit more. Yeah, it's not too bad. And then you can mess around with that to your heart's content. I'm just going to have it like a nice pale version of what it is. And then I'm going to save it. You can always change that afterwards if you don't like it. It's hard to tell with this kind of lighting. So one thing I am going to do is I'm just going to add in that big mirror. So, cylinder. Isolate it because I can't see anything. Okay, delete that because that did not. Okay, increase this. I'm going to go for 64 because I want this to be nice and detailed. And then I'm going to scale it on the Z. So that's one thing I've noticed is this line can be a bit awkward sometimes. Okay, so we haven't got auto smooth on, which is annoying. And then I'm gonna bevel this. Slightly. Grab this edge and bevel it. So it's like a round edge. Grab this face. I'm going to inset it and drop it down a lot. And then bevel that inner edge. And this edge here, I'm going to come right in, just bevel that as well. So we've got a nice shape. The back doesn't really matter. Okay, so I'm going to create two materials, but for this, the main one is going to be frame, and then I'm going to make another one, which will be mirror. So this inner one has to be kind of, I think, pulled out a little bit or in. Let me just check. Hang on a minute. Yeah. Okay, so I messed up there. So insert this a tiny bit, and then I'm going to drop that down. So it's the bevel again that's causing issues for me. And I'm going to give that to be a super light 1.5. Nah, again, that's still not great. 0.2. Yep. Okay, so now this inner one, this inner face, I'm going to apply the mirror thing to it. And let's do a smart UV project. Now this one is going to be not rough at all. Metallic. So we have our mirror. And the frame, I'm going to have that as metallic as well. But I'm going to have it like a goldy bronze. It's a bit tacky, isn't it? Yeah, let's have it like an off color. And have that as just for now, just going to be like that. Let's apply, we'll save it if we want. Apply the scale. Now I'm going to rotate it on the Z by 90. No, rotate it on the X, sorry, by 90. And then let's bring everything else in. And then I'm going to scale it in. Pop it up. Oh, hang on, have I got any modifiers? No, the bevel's fine, that doesn't matter. Okay, let's pop this up on the wall. So with this, you don't want it to be too out of place, so I want there to be the shadowing and things. And if we go for that, Sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. That looks cool. Just kind of get it in the right spot. Okay, so we're starting to get there. So we got reflections in the back wall, which means we're going to have to start putting stuff there. Otherwise, it just kind of looks a bit like nothing. But we've got different things starting to make sense. So this is going to be mirror. We've got cabinet doors. Yeah, I quite like the paleness of that. I think the tub is no, that's fine. That's fine. So we're starting to get there. Okay, yeah, the frame. Maybe the frame's color is what's a bit darker. Looks better. Yeah. All right. So what's missing when we look at these designs? Lights, reflection. In the reflections, yeah, we want something to be in a reflection. We've got the bath. The missing thing is the shower. So let's do the shower next. Just need to make sure I'm still streaming. Yes. It's a long one. Okay. Next thing we need is the shower. So let us hide everything. And I'm going to add in. Hands are cold. What do I need? Okay. So I'm going to add in a interesting cube, maybe. No, we'll go with a cylinder. We'll keep everything high quality. 64 is probably a bit too much, but I don't care. Okay, so we're going to go with that. I'm going to bring her right in. Smaller. And then go to 1. Plop that like that. Actually, no, it's fine going underground a bit with this one, because I'm just going to bring this up like this. So I'm going to do a thing like that. And I'm going to go into face, select, grab all of this. Now I'm pretty sure I have to remember curve extract. If I went like that, that separates it, doesn't it? There's some, is it Alt? Nope. Q, let's try. No, that's not the one I'm looking for. Q, maybe it's E macro. I have to remember that. There's a way of extruding it from itself. So, curve extract. Is it Control Shift? No, I've tried that already. Idiot. Okay, Shift. Haha. Okay, so Shift on that one. So that gives it a kind of chunkier base. And I'm gonna bring this down. Just want to see it in relation to everything else. So let's find the tub. Okay, that's actually about where I'd want it as well. Oh dear. Alright, it's created a separate. Oh, right. Okay, let's just leave it where it is. That's about the height I was hoping it would be anyway, where it would have. So for these ones, they have one there as well. Okay. let's just go for the full height. Let's go in relation to the turb. Full height, about that. Oh, I need to see the room, don't I? See the height of the room. And then it's going to be a case of curving it so it doesn't hit the top. Okay, but I want it to about there. Then we're going to bring in our old friend. Now, do I want it straight? Nah, it's got to be curved. We want various shapes and styles, so I'm going to put that here. I think that will work out nicely. Like that. Oh no, I want it to be in relation to the yeah, okay, that's much better. 90 degrees roughly. Yeah, I think that's cool. Needs to be smoother. There's not a great amount of segments in that. How do I increase the segments again? I can't remember, you know. Spin, steps. Ah, there we go. Okay. So I want it to be there, and I want, let's just say 32 steps. Yep, I think that's fine. And let's have that on smooth. Brilliant. I think that's cool. So we have that. That's going to connect it to the sort of wider expanding head. Is that too tall for the room? No, it isn't. That's perfect. Perfect. This is going to have a new material called metal underscore. And I will have to find a new one for that, but I'm going to change it to a sort of preset sort of thing. Give it a nice shine to it. Darken her up. And that's it. Okay, so just so I get a nicer look while I'm working on it. Cylinder. Oh. Yeah, so this is going to be, let's say, metal underscore 3. I think there's another one, and this one can be not as this can be like all the black fixings that will go onto it. Okay, straight pipe. I think, yeah, straight pipe with just the head is going to be fine. So let's go back to edit, and I'm going to plop out another one there, and then do this kind of thing. And then make that quite chunky. And then grab all of them, and then do Alt S. Grab that one, and do another one like that. And then drop that big time, and then scale. Actually, yeah, that needs to be flatter. just make that a lot bigger. Drop it down. I think it needs to, let's just get it so it's like substantial. Sweet. Then I'm going to go edge. Bevel that. Oh no, I want to do that, but I want more detail. Awesome. Okay, so then this can have an inner section, and I'm going to assign that a separate material, which will be just the, oh, actually, let's go back, delete that one. I'm going to create a material instance. No. I do want this to be the same, but I want it to be slightly different. So yeah, we want this to be, let's call this metal grate. For now, I'm just going to make it just a black metal because there might not be any kind of angle that sees this. So just having it, actually let's just have it not rough at all. Let's just have it like that. Yeah, I think that's fine. And then I don't think these have any fixings or anything, but get rid of that. Go back to Blender. Yeah, I don't think these have any fixings. So I'm just going to leave it kind of super simple. Awesome. So this is just going to be shower. And then shower, I don't know, fixing. And, excuse me, and let's go to edit mode, select all, do a smart unwrap. And go to our shading. I want to lock in on this thing only. And this is where I'm actually going to explore a new texture. I want a kind of I want the material, a metal, kind of not rusty, but oh, that looks more like what I'm thinking of. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. Let's go for a 2K version of that. Let's unzip all of that to, I'm going to find my textures folder and ambient CG, metals, and make new folder called ratched copper. Let's just call it that. And extract it to that. And then that's all done. So now I can come off of there, do our little shift, control shift T, find that metal, scratch copper, and then grab all of the ones that we'll need. I'm just going to select everything. And that didn't work, did it? Okay, I was waiting for it to do something. Hang on, let me just make sure. Control Shift T. Scratch copper. Grab you, you, and you. And principled shaded. There we go. All right. Oh no. I did it wrong. Right. I need to do it on that one. Idiot, and I. There we go. Looks a bit crap. Oh dear. Why is that so? Doesn't look very good in my opinion. Let's go 10 by 10. Get them scratches up. Let's bring it back into the scene. I mean, maybe it's maybe we'll need to do some kind of trickery, but okay, well that underneath needs to definitely be a different material. Let's just choose metal free, assign it. So there's that. Go back to this. Why does it do that, eh? Copper. This is 10. Let's do 15 by 15. So we've got a finer thing. I want it to be shinier. Shinier. Let's take the roughness out and just go bop. Nah. That was fine the way it was. Roughness. It's not too bad. It's just a bit. I mean, it's all right. From this distance, are you going to see it anyway? That's what you have to ask yourself. So now it's a case of positioning this into the right spot. And this should be done in this view, sorry. We'll get into wireframe. Put it like that. And then there we go. So that's the shower part of the bath. So now if we come into our preview mode, deselect it, we have a shower going into our bath. I think the bath would need to be wider to handle that thing. Maybe a screen needs to go here. Yeah, I think a screen needs to go there. I mean, it's conceptual. What do we have with these baths? I mean, this bath is purely just for... Yeah, maybe... I'm going for that sort of design, but... Maybe that head's a bit too big. Just gonna make it a little bit smaller. I mean, if it's straight down, yeah, that person's gonna get everything soaking, so we definitely would have like a screen here, I think. Yeah, we definitely would. So I'm just gonna put in another cube and put it like that. Scale it on the X. Scale on the Y. I mean, would it be just a screen like that? Just to stop a bit of the water. Maybe it could just be plaster. Maybe it could just be the good old-fashioned plaster. What's that like? I mean, that casts a lot of shadows, but then we could have a light coming off of there, couldn't we? We get some cool, yeah, we get some cool lighting from that actually. So let's grab this and move it along the Y and just see what kind of, no, because you need to be able to get into the bath, don't you? Yeah. Okay, need to rethink. I mean, it's a concept, isn't it? Maybe this needs to come a bit out from the wall as well so we get a better shadow. So far, so good. So far, so good. Yeah, because we could have like things hanging up there. A light maybe going across. So this is a bit more like indoor light, and we've got the natural light coming there. Yep. Okay. This is starting to look okay. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. This is, I'm just having a look here to see if people are messaging. It says I've got 2 viewers or a couple of viewers there. I can't see the chat with my current setup because I'm useless. I haven't got, literally I'm new to this. I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm kind of just freestyling without being, I haven't got 2 monitors. So, because I'm poor, hopefully I can afford to get 2 monitors eventually, and then I'll be able to see people commenting and stuff. Currently, if you've got questions, the best thing to do is to jump into my Discord because I'll be able to hear the message, which is taking its time. Yeah, I think my mate just messaged me actually. Yeah, so that's probably the best place to message if you are observing. So yeah, we got ourselves a bathroom sort of thing going on now. Now one thing that's missing from like this scene is the sink. Now I quite like these sinks, but in this kind of format. I quite like the idea of the bath and the sink matching, so I might just cheat and literally I'm going to go into preview mode, and I'm going to just copy it, scale it right down, rotate it by, oh, not that way, rotate it by Z90, and I'm going to go into wireframe, and I'm going to pop it up here just to get a look. I'm not going to actually 100% use it. This is going to go up. This is going to go here. And I'm going to do that like this. And now that we're inside the thing, we can bring that up. I'm going to widen it a lot and bring it out like that. Now the difference with this one is I want, go to edge select, I want to bevel this a lot more. See what that looks like. Yeah, so we got a bit more of a rounded thing going on. Don't want it to be as deep. So that can go like that. This one can actually be called sink. And that can go into the sink area. What's this one? Oh yeah, it's a screen. So that's part of the wall, I think. We'll put that in the room. So back to the sink. Lovely, lovely, lovely. What can we do to make it different? We can add a loop cut here and grab all of that and can do this and scale the whole thing. Is that fine? Do I like that? I don't like that. Let's go back to here and let's expand it out that way. Looks like a dog bowl. I am going to put it in like that, but what I'm going to do is add another loop. Like, no. Oh, I need to get rid of that loop I just made. Edge select, grab this one. Nah. Okay, let's raise that up. Actually, I think that's fine the way it is. This edge, I'm going to unmark it because I want to keep that smooth look. And in here, face select, let's choose all of these. Oh, goodness. There we go. And I'm going to scale that in. So if we do have any yeah, we can't see inside that from here, but that's fine. It's totally fine. Oh dear. I'm going to scale it up a little bit so it's quite a big one. Sweet. And for the shape to be interesting, I want basically the same as this, but like a cut up version. So I'm just gonna copy it because why wouldn't you? But then I'm gonna make an edit to it. So I'm gonna slice this thing up. So firstly, I'm gonna make it. Oh no. Let's edit. Zoom in on whatever that is. I'm gonna grab all of this stuff and delete that. And now we've got that. Awesome. And I'm going to do something like this, just so it looks like it's got thickness. I'm going to change the entire thing to a black metal. And now I'm going to make it small. Yeah, I don't know. Let's change the origin to the geometry. I'm gonna make it. I want it thicker for. I want it to be thicker. Maybe I am gonna have to make another fresh one. Kind of wanted it just to be like a small thing. Maybe what I can do then is, okay, I'm gonna go back to this. Oh, Bada bump. I'm gonna do. Let's bring it back to being like thin pipe. Get rid of the that. Then I'm going to set the origin to the geometry. Go back to this. Get it roughly where I want it. I'm gonna scale it right down so it's thin. Get it roughly where I want it. Plop. So obviously it's way too small. Edit mode, into face select, go to X-ray. No, don't need to do that. Don't even need to do that. So let's select all of them. Is that one there as well? Yeah, all right. So let's delete those faces and that face. And then go back into edge. Grab that edge. Zoom right out. Oh, don't want that. Bring the whole scale to about there. It's quite hard to tell actually with that. So just below the surface. Now, if I set the origin to geometry and... God dang it, that's not working. Okay, let's try this solidify. That's a bit more like it. Something like that. That's fine. Cool. So I'm going to put this in the back left corner. It's just going to be a thick black pipe. And I think that's fine. Rotate it on the Z, like something like that. Let's go from the top. Go to X-ray. Get it something like that. And then locally transform it so it's about there. And then I think that's good. I think that's fine. Hang on. What's going on? Oh, I see. Right, yeah. Well, as long as it looks good, it doesn't matter. So, doesn't necessarily look good. So let's go global. Let's put this. I want to be able to see the entire pipe. Maybe it's following that in too close a relation. See, now that comes directly from the wall. That's quite cool. That is quite cool. But then you got this. It doesn't stick out because it's vastly different from each other. Yeah, I think they need to be vastly different from each other for it to not look strange. But then this big mirror kind of needs... I think it's fine for now. Let's make it fatter. No, let's do there. Nah. Let's go -2. And we'll leave it like that for now. I am going to do a render and go for a P. So we'll see what it looks like. And I'll leave that rendering. Okay, he's back. Okay, it looks like it's going to take a long time to render while I am in the middle of doing stuff. Have I accidentally pushed... What was that, frame 44? I suppose it's because it's nearly a 4K image. So you can see there, I haven't UV unwrapped it correctly. I've got that streak. The noise will clear up once it gets to a certain stage. And plus I am streaming and stuff, so it's probably going to take a while. So I'm just going to look at this and look at how I might improve on everything. So it's about the shadows and stuff and the light. That's what makes it kind of look good. So we need some light sources, really. That's what's missing in here. I think rather than doing like those two, copying it, like I'm going to do my own sort of strip light that goes along a ceiling up here. Another thing I've noticed is that I've got these two tiles that are like the majority of the image, and then I've got, I guess there's two tiles here, and that's not a lot of space going on. I'm just going to close down Discord and open it on my phone just to give my computer a bit more space. But yeah, it's taken a while. You can see the sample rate. We've got like 816 samples out of 1024 per tile. Just got a message on Discord. I'm just opening it up to see who it is. Bear with me. David Sover. Cheers, buddy. Thank you very much. Feel free to jump in on the, I don't know if, I thought I added the link to the stream. To my actual server, but I'll send that to you as well. Just so you got it. Okay, so that's the final render, and that allows us to see the issues. I'd say, looking at it, that there are lots of them. Lots of issues. I mean, as an overall image, it's pretty good, but it's to do with the scale of the of everything, really. It's kind of you know, well, it's pretty obvious. There's all kinds of things going wrong with it, really. The overall composition is actually pretty good. Like the lighting, like if you ignore this side because it's not lit at all, which is why it looks a bit sort of old school kind of CG. It also might be the focal length of the camera is making these kind of segments look a bit stretched. But this bit, lighting wise, is quite good, and it's the lighting that really does make the difference. Like, and you can see it's almost there. We've got quite good lighting on the which is based on the displacement, but you know, this UV needs to be fixed on this edge right here, and that's, you know, going to be something that I will do. Sorry, I was just sending okay, David, I'll have to add it to I'll send it to you privately, but I will try and make sure I add that in the future into the description. Depends where you're watching, I think. Maybe, I don't know if the descriptions come up on everything, because I'm streaming to Twitch and YouTube and Facebook, I think. So potentially you are not seeing the description. I'm not too sure. Hopefully I can sort that out for the next one though. But yeah, so going back to this, I just need to increase the mapping, I think, of the if I increase the mapping of the textures overall, this can become finer, because I think that looks pretty cool. Obviously zoomed in, it doesn't look too great, but it's not really about zooming in. This image is kind of like the overall thing we're trying to get good. What's that up there? Oh no, that's fine. I like the green. That's kind of like the outside exterior kind of reflecting off of the glass and stuff like that. And we got some good lighting on this. So originally I was like, oh, I'll just leave it as a flat, but it looks like I'm gonna have to put some kind of metal grate on there, just to get that extra detail, which I'll have to add in. So yeah, finer detail on the shower head. I think the metal itself is actually all right. Maybe it needs a few more imperfections. UVs of that needs to be fixed. Finer grain or texture on the mapping material. I think the floor is fine, because I'm going to actually add some kind of like rug that will go probably from here to here. You know, that sort of thing. I think will change up the image. This is a good block out though. Obviously in the back, I think if I have a light, like a strip light going, will a strip light look right? Let's have a look at these reference images and see what kind of lighting we got. So this thing's got some kind of alien jellyfish sort of light going on. I'm not too sure about that one. I don't want to copy this too much, because I've kind of got the whole, you know, basis of my scene is kind of based around that. Actually, no, mine is quite different. But this one's all about having that super bright exterior light, as well as these two kind of point light sources, omnidirectional point light sources. This is based on its skylight, which is kind of giving this really nice ambient light all the way through it. This is obviously lit from behind the camera, or, you know, all around. You can imagine this has got like a huge window. And this, you can see, is just probably a combination of a big glass window and maybe some kind of Valex window. But I want to do my own thing. Maybe I could bring in another set of windows from behind. Maybe that would look all right as well, because then if the back wall had windows as well, you could see it in the reflection of the mirror. Maybe that will look all right. That'll be worth testing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this render to my desktop as bathroom 1, and then I'll periodically do renders as I'm going through to sort of see how those improvements have, well, not necessarily improvements, how the changes have either improved or not improved the scene. And that's it really. Kind of at the stage now where it is just adding little fine details, because we've got the overall shape and style. And that's it really. And you can start looking at, you can plan things out quite well. Like this will need a tap. The detail in the cupboard, like the colours, I don't mind the colours, but the grain itself is like, that's because I was lazy with the UV unwrap, so I need to make it so I kind of want the grain to go Do I want the grain that way? You know, deciding which way you want the grain of the wood to go, whether or not the material itself is alright. I think that could do with being darker, actually. Some stuff in the cupboards. Some towels piled up in there, in like these three things maybe, or maybe just one. You'd have towels in there and maybe some products. In that one, maybe this one will have like a metal kind of, you know, one of those metal racks that you sort of put things on. Some kind of metal rack can go in there, and then it's adding those kind of changes that are not, you don't want everything perfect symmetry, for example. So I wouldn't, you know, if you have like 5 towels in there, you don't have 5 towels in there and then something in the middle, because like instinctively that's what you would do if you were doing these kind of scenes, but you don't want to do that. You at this stage now, you want kind of imperfections to make it look lived in. So for example, you know, a rug that kind of comes from here into the scene, you know, and just sort of stops about here with some, you know, scrunch it up a little bit so you can use the cloth simulator, which I'll do. Maybe a towel that overhangs this. It's like hanging over the edge. This is quite a sharp edge, and maybe you would have that, maybe you wouldn't. In this reference image, this bath has this kind of like board over the top. My actual bath in real life does have something similar. So, and these controls, I think that's going to be important to add, and I think I'll put them, maybe I'll put, where would I put them in this scenario? I mean, realistically, it would go either side of this. Maybe I'll have that coming out of the wall. I'll just have like a little panel. Maybe I'll just have a little panel here. You get in there, your back would be against this, and you'd stand up under there. I think maybe this needs to be a bit taller. So this, although I don't want to affect the lighting too much. Anyway, moving on. The render is done. What did I say? This could be a little bit taller, couldn't it? So because it's all hidden, I'm actually going to just go like that. And I'm hoping that'll keep the light on the edge. Yep, that's fine. So that's a little bit taller. You can imagine a person in there. It's actually going to be making a bit more sense. So I'm going to go to the preview mode. And first things first is to fix the UVs for this panel. I'm not even sure if I bothered. Don't even know if I bothered. So the UV, oh god, where are we? What's happened? I've lost it. Okay, yeah, focus on this. Isolate, grab the whole thing. Yeah, it's just kind of squared it up. And this face is stretched out like crazy. So I'm just going to try a smart unwrap. Preview. It's not really benefited at all, is it? Why has it done that again? There we go. Okay, so let's grab this one. And I'm gonna scale her up. What does it need to go down? It's quite difficult to see it actually. I'm gonna do that. I don't really want to. No. Okay. I'm gonna stretch it by grabbing that. And go to face select, grab the whole thing. Rotate by 90 degrees. That looks worse. I'm gonna have to go to rendered for this. Right, yeah, that way I can see the actual displacement of it. What am I gonna do here? Okay, so stretching it that way isn't what we need. I think that's the one. Alright, yeah. It's a lot better. I mean, this isn't like, you would never do this for a video game. Like these UVs like this, it's just not good practice. But for the sake of just like a in-scene render, then you might as well do it, just because it's going to make the overall thing look better. Now for this, I'm going to go back into this view and I'm going to make the detail a bit more. So I'm going to go 10 by 10. And I think that's better. Although, is that stretching? Oh no, that's the denoiser that's doing that. That's not anything other than that. That's fine. So 10 by 10, I think that will look better on the bath. I'm going to save it at this point. Then I'm going to go to edge mode. I'm gonna add a bevel on this because I want it to be, you wouldn't have such a deadly edge to your bath, I don't think, realistically. You don't want to cut yourself. How does that look? Okay, that needs to become, take away the seam and unmark it. There we go. Okay, so I think that will look much nicer, yet instantly better. And it will catch light differently. Hopefully for the better. Hard to tell without rendering it out, but yeah, I think that will be better. This is all good. That will have some nice shadowing. What was the other thing? I've raised the height of that. I've cleared that up. I've fixed the sharpness and the size of this. Oops. Go into layout mode. Let's deselect things and take another little think. This, oh, it was the controls, so some kind of control panel of that. Let me think. Next stage. I mean, you just got to keep going. I think this was the next thing, wasn't it? The coloring of the shader. So, yeah, this pale kind of wood wasn't very nice. So let's go down to let's bring it down. So that's the original wood. And that's me trying to darken it. So I quite like the dark. Let's try that. I think that might be nicer. Yeah. Yep. That'll give us some nicer shadows. I think, save that. So overall, that should be a nicer composition, just straight off the bat. I like the floor, the plasters, scaleless, all good. The other thing I wanted to do was this, wasn't it? Add in a metal grate thing. So I'm going to go to material preview. I'm going to save it at this stage actually, because these things can go wrong. Go to our material, so metal free. Okay, so I'm going to make that grate. No, what would it be called? What was the name of it? I don't remember what they call that. Oh my god. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I know what I'm just gonna call it grate. It's not a grate, but hopefully you know what I'm trying to say. I've completely forgotten what it is. Someone can remind me what I mean, and then go for it. So I'm going to shift T. I have actually got something that I can use for this already. I have to just remember where it is. So I think, is it sheet metal? Yes, that's what I'm talking about. The kind of cut, the holes, you know, the that stuff, whatever that pattern's called. Like an inset cut. Opacity, you don't want that one, we want that one. Okay, so that is what I want. I don't know why it does this to me every single time. Have I just set it to something that I didn't want it on? No. So, metal free, principled shader. Sheet metal. Color, displacement, normal. All of that jazz. Alrighty. Then let's put that down to 10. We're nearly there. Let's go to 20. Alright. Alright. Now, don't think I need displacement for what I'm looking for. Let's put a mix though. Mix RGB. Let's just see what it's like with a black mix. Fully black and more. It's kind of what I want. I mean, it's a cheat. It's not, you know, it's not what it would actually be. Let's do that. And then let's put that back to the copper. And just make that a bit smaller. We need that extra detail though, because it's always worth it. Maybe that needs to be a bit bigger, and we'll just inset that a little bit. What's that like? I think that's cool. I'm going to save that. Then we'll go to layout. Go to that. Just so it catches the light a bit nicer. One thing also, I don't want it to be as rough, but it looks like I can't really choose not to do that. We could play around with it later. And view the whole scene. So now when we render it, I'm hoping that will look a lot better. We've got our extra detail. Total triangles in the scene, 25,000. Not too bad. I mean, I've had single assets that are much more than that, so this is pretty good. Obsessively save, and we'll be good to go. Now maybe you'd have curtains. I'm going to leave curtains for now. The windows are super plain. I think you would have maybe like a split in them or something. Like modern windows, you wouldn't have so much glass. I think that would be super expensive, and maybe they wouldn't meet building regs. But you know, is this mirror too big, I wonder? Is this mirror too big, I wonder? Not too sure. Let's just leave it as it is for now. Let me think, what's the next bit? I mean, really, a good thing to do would be to render it again, but that takes quite a while. And I'd like to add something a bit more interesting to it. What is that thing going to be? Maybe I'll do... let's have a look at these. What are we missing? Oh, the controls. That was a controls and products and light. Ah, the light. I'm going to do the light. That's the next thing for me. I'm going to do something pretty simple. Nothing too complicated. So let's go back to material preview. So we've got ourselves a better looking, a better experience while we're editing. The grain on this was one thing I said as well. I mean, the grain looks all right when you're in, like, when you're moving about. It's just when you're in this view, we're not seeing any shadows in the handles as well. So I think I want to make that more prominent. So I'm actually going to cheat, and I'm going to just change the material to a new material, which will be, I'm just going to use black metal. So now, I'm just going to do it for this one as well. Add another material called black metal, assign it. So when we're in here, that just has that little bit of extra detail. Now I could add a light in that wood there, but maybe that will be a bit cheesy, won't it? Usually, yeah. Maybe a light on there that shines over that way. So it's like following the same. I'm going to just add in a light just to see what it looks like without doing the actual without actually making it properly. I'm just going to put the actual light source there just to see what it looks like. So 1 meter is about right rectangle like that. It's probably about what I'd have it at, maybe let's go 0.5. Oh no, that's way too much. 0.05. 0.05. Okay. Oh no. There we go. Let's go to that. Let's go to wireframe. And oh, god dang you, Jake. Okay, let's just do it with G. Right, put that there. And put that probably, what's it going to be, like that? Yes. And let us go to this. Yeah, I'm thinking something like that, but obviously in like a unit of some kind of metal unit. 10 watt. I think that looks alright. It's not too bad. Does that expose the plaster to be too gritty? Maybe it is. I'm actually going to come back to this, and I'm just going to test out this at like 7 by 7. I just don't know if it's the denoising that's doing that though. I think it might be the denoising that's doing that. 7 by 7 is fine though. What were you looking for? That's what I'm looking for. G. and then scale it by a bit. Then we'll go back to our view. So I'm just going to do that and also duplicate it and bring it over here as well. So we'd have two of them. I'm almost thinking that this is all too flush to that now. Maybe the gap. Yeah, no, because then you could have like a bin there or something. Yeah, that's fine. But maybe... Yeah, I don't know. Do you reckon you'd have it like that? Or is that too weird? I kind of feel like you would have those light sources, but then maybe it would be better just to have a central one. Because then we can start integrating stuff with the mirror. If that's like bang in the middle, I'll have it like there. We get some cool shadowing in there. Scale it more on the just longer. Scale it on that. Yeah, I kind of feel like that's probably better. God, I hate that stuff. No, I want it wider. Just don't want it to be, maybe it'd be, yeah, it would be in the center, wouldn't it? So that's roughly the center of the room. So what does that look like in the scene rendered? Kind of want it to be visible, so yeah, just there. Doesn't affect that too much. Yeah, I think it adds a nice thing. Let's add a little bit of a blueness to it. Slight blueness. Actually, no. Let's make it more white than anything. Slightly off white. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so I think I'm gonna have that there just so we get these nicer shadows. Let's just see what a 50-watt bulb looks like. Horrible. Okay, so 10 watt. Keep it at 10 watt. Even though it's probably unrealistic. I'm gonna have that middle light and I'm gonna have a light there. Because without it, you don't get, it's not as good, I don't think. So like if I was to make this like 0 for a nighttime scene, that's kind of what we're getting. And that wouldn't be enough, so we need to sort of, this is a good way of planning out where you'd realistically have lighting. So maybe we'd have one like this is the center light, which then we could sort of say, okay, maybe it would be a 50-watt or a 25-watt. I think 25 is probably, let's find it in the middle. So 20, we'll have a 20, yeah, 21 there. And then I'm going to name this to main. And then I would duplicate that, put that down, scale it on the X. This one's going to be a smaller one. And that would be the one I would have. Whoa, way too much. There we go. And I'd have that like here. And then that one would definitely be less. Go back to our 10. And I'd probably have that higher. And then I'll duplicate that, and then that would be on the other side as well for when you're having a shower. Then maybe these can be a lot less. So 5s. Maybe these can be 5 watts. Softer. Is that right? Do you reckon that's alright? I don't know. How would you have it? I mean, I think that would be like the logical place to have stuff in real life. Like, and then you just have that one like switched off when it's daytime. So have that like off, you know, depending on what you're doing. And then that one is also like, you can switch it on and off. And that's your main light. I think that seems realistic. I think that's pretty good. And then your world lighting is your day, you know, when the sun is up. You wouldn't have these on, but maybe you'd have that one on while you're doing something. So I think this will be my current render lighting setup, but with actual modeled lights as well. Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's fine. And that also brings a bit more interest into, I want it just in creeping in, you know, so it's not like a perfect, like everything's showing in the thing. So what I'm going to do is make a I'm going to bring my gizmos back on. I'm going to make a little simple kind of frame for this, and it's not going to be anything complicated. It's going to be just cube that I'm going to scale down on the X so it's nice and thin. Go into wireframe, position it so it's roughly in sync with the light. It's going to be a little bit bigger than the light. It's going to be maybe that thick coming off the wall. And then, oh, it could be a light box. Yeah, maybe some like soft light box or something. I mean, this one, I'll try a light box. Let's see what that's like. So the best way to do that, what's the best way to do that? Let's come into here. Let's put it on the wall. So I think for a light box, I'd want to split this down here. I'll do one more. Oh, not that way. Go back. Give that a nice thin thing. And then I'll Alt-S and give it some kind of frame. Not very good, is it? I don't like that. Okay, so extrude and then Alt-S. No, extrude, then Alt-S. Yeah, I reckon that's all right. I'm going to bevel it. Whoa. Okay, let's try and get that right first. So we want this to be 0.001. I think that's cool. That's fine. This can be beveled slightly more. Always does this, doesn't it? Maybe something like that. It doesn't need to be as many segments. Just a few. All right. And what I'm going to do is add in a new material and call it light box. And that is going to be the overall material. And then I'm going to add a new one, which will be just metal black. And metal black will be this frame. So I'm going to go, what have I done? Have I messed something up? No, I haven't. Cool. So I'm going to go to face select these loops as well as that loop, and then I'm going to assign metal black to it, and then I can then start affecting lightbox with no worries. So I'm going to give it an emissive material. I'm going to give it full transmission, but give it, what the hell? Full transmission, but a lot of transmission roughness. I just want to see what this looks like for now. Okay, not too bad. So that's, where's, oh, because this one. Okay, so that's that. Let's figure out this. So point light is a bit too, yeah, no, we want an area light, I think. And that needs to go maybe like that. We need two weak ones. So I'm going to go 2.5 watt thing. Let's go into wireframe because it's just not X-ray, wireframe. And let's just get this right. So this is going to go inside here. And I'm going to do that. And I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to bring it down here. And then I'm going to rotate it on the Z by 180. No, I'm not. I'm going to bring it down here. I'm going to rotate it on the X by 180. So then they're both pointing up at each other. So now that should give me, you know, I didn't even think that would work, but it does. So now I'm actually going to bring these down wattage wise to 1 watt, because we are also getting, what I don't want is light going through the inside. So what the reason for that is that the inside of it has no kind of how would I say it? It's not solid inside. Oh dear. Okay, so I'm going to add a new thing, and these are going to be light box. And then I'm going to put that light in there, that light in there, this cube. I'm going to name it as the light box. Lighty box. Okay, we'll leave it at that. I'll take that light out. Then I can firstly put it to the wall. That'll help a bit, which it does. I'm going to go to preview because it's easier to get your edges a bit better. Maybe shift, hold shift. What have I done? Hold shift. Why is it scaling? What's going on? I don't know what's going on. I can't be asked to work that out. Okay, that's fine though. The whole thing's a bit big though, so I do want to scale it down. No, a bit longer and not as deep. That'll be fine. I think that's cool. That is all right. It's a bit big still, isn't it? Like that. So what does that look like now? The lights, did they move properly? Yeah, they did. That's cool. All right. So now that kind of looks all right, actually. It's a bit bright though. So it's the emissive shader. So on the light box, excuse me, the emissive shader wants to be like down by 0.2 or something. Hang on, what have I done? No, we want the what did I do? What have I done? Maybe we don't want full transmission. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong thing here. Why on earth did that happen? Alright, okay, alpha. We'll go for 0.5. I accidentally clicked the glass somehow. Or maybe we put the roughness up fully, and then we bring the alpha right down. Okay, we don't want full transmission then. No, I think I had it best the first time. So alpha. So if there's no transmission, how can I see through it now? That's the big question. It's fully rough. It's fully rough, has no transmission, and it has... This is defying... This is defying it all. I don't understand. There's no transmission on it, so why can I still see it? Is it purely because I've got a light inside it? Why is it acting like glass? That's what I don't understand. Why can I still see through? Is it because it's not... Is it because it's not got anything on the back of it? Yeah, I mean, it's definitely causing issues, so I'm going to have to add in an inner face, so these lights are going to have to be hidden. I'm going to have to just isolate the light. Alright, let's go to edge select. Let's figure out which one it is I need. It's probably this one. And this one. And then that one. And then that one. And then do a face. And then that face can have black metal applied to it. And then if I go back to this and those lights again, that's still super strange. I don't understand. There's no transmission. Oh, that's more like what I'm looking for. And I do want that rough as well, so that makes it like glass. But it's too much like glass. Let's apply solidify modifier to it. Let's see what effect we get. Alright, that's not going to work. I reckon that would work if it was separate though. So, okay. So let's go to edit mode. Let's select all of these. Oh dear, not that. Oh, Christ. That, and that. And we'll separate it So now we have light box. Let's go into object mode. We have the light box frame and the light box itself, and they are the lights for it. Okay, so I'm going to turn them off for a second. Oh no, we kind of need that. I'm going to isolate just the box. Oh god, HDR. Okay, edit into edge mode. I'm going to select that and put a face. Okay, now I'm going to add a solidify modifier to this. No, that's fine. Whoa, come on now, chill your beans. Let's go to this. We're going to have to go back into this, aren't we? This doesn't look right. This doesn't look right. So that's not working for me. It's pretty much there where I want it, but it's not quite. I'm wondering whether it's just a case of filling it out in the right way. It's that edge, isn't it? Is it because I've got a bevel on it, I wonder? Edit. Ah, yeah, it might be. It might be that bevel, that we haven't got a bevel here and here. And here and here. Yeah, it's not going to work doing that. It's going to ruin it. Maybe I just have to add another cube in. Yeah, I think that's the problem. I think I'm going to have to just do a new one. Delete you. We've got our frame, got our panel, which I'm going to thicken up. Which I think could do with being quite a lot bigger. And yep, okay, there's that and that. Sweet. Oh god, that's quite big on that direction. Too big. So make it smaller on the Y. Bring that across. I think that's cool. And then in here, we're going to add a new cube, which will be the light box itself again. And then scale her down, spin it up, just get it roughly the size I want it. Wireframe mode, get it in the spot. There's that, okie dokie. And then fine tune. Okay, that's better. Bring it to about there. And then choose these two lights. Put them in the center. Grab that again. I'm going to grab the back face. And just put that like that. Okay, now I've done that, I'm going to rebevel. Well, actually, let's get the texture on it. Lightbox, where? A? Lightbox. Okay, so where is it in the list? Am I just being blind? Plaster. Oh yeah, right there. Cool. Okay. It just doesn't quite look how I want it. Let's try the solidify and modify now. Let's do a minus. Nah. Alright, let's just bevel the whole thing. And we'll put it at 0.01. And then keep going up. 0.03. Oh, it just doesn't look good. I want it to be less. I want it to have less. I don't want it to be as transparent. But it's fully rough. And it's got full transmission roughness. That should be. Is it because it's emitting? No, it's not emitting anymore. Ah. Idiot. For some reason yeah, what a numpty. So I was thinking that the emission strength was alpha. I was treating that as, oh god. What an idiot. Right. Okay, so now I can start to get the look I want. 0.5. Okay, and I can hopefully get away with doing the bevels and stuff. I think I'm going to finish this light box and then I'm going to have to call it a night and carry on with this another time because I am hungry. I think I'm going to go hyper detail for this particular one. Yeah, I think that's alright, but too big. So now if I bring the whole thing down in scale. I don't know, I think it's alright. And then with the main light on, and then still like it's reflecting through, so that's got to be to do with the fact. Oh, I see. It's not actually flush to the wall, is it, anymore? That will explain a good amount of the light. Okay. That definitely needs to be fatter. One second. Sorry, I was just had a knock on the door. Right. So oh, is that light? Oh my god, that makes right. Okay. I now know what's going on. That is light. I wondered what was going on. I was like, God. Okay. It should look a lot better now. I hope. Anyway. So let's make that fatter. Oh. Okay, that's better, I think. Still a bit, you know. I think it needs a bit of imperfections. Maybe I'm just going to completely gut that out. I don't even know if I like that at all. But it's getting better. So for the final bit of the stream, I'm going to render it out at exactly the same settings. Oh, quickly. Cancel. That'll take a second. Won't like me doing that. I need to... I don't want that light in... Which one is it? So I want everything other than that one. Yep, okay. I'll leave that light on. Although I haven't modeled it, it's, you know, you get the picture. Okay, so render the image now. Cool. So that's doing its thing. While it's doing its thing, I am going to go and have a peek. So, final moment of truth. I need to set my hotkeys a bit differently because I think they're conflicting. My microphone hotkeys are conflicting with my some of the blender buttons. But just waiting on this now. This will be the last thing I'm going to do for now. Obviously, I had probably about half an hour of the stream was wasted at the start with issues, problems and stuff. But that is part of it. as this is rendering, I'll sort of overview what maybe my next steps will be. Obviously, to model the main light, so we have an actual frame around it. Getting some good little bits every so often, like all around. There are good bits and then there's bad bits. A lot of it's probably, you know, like the bevels on here, like the cuts in the wood. The reason this thing doesn't look realistic, obviously it's not finished yet, but there's loads of reasons why this is not good. Like, you wouldn't have this kind of texture. You know, I need to go through it and UV unwrap it properly. So like where you'd have these bits, you'd have splits. Well, let's have a look at this one. So this has been designed. It's not a very good quality image, but you can imagine there would be a line where the wood's been cut and fitted. This is one big panel. And it's been designed in a way that kind of makes it look more solid. And it probably is solid. I mean, this probably isn't, you know, even, this is all composed. A composed image. It's not a real image, I doubt. But yeah, you'd have like a line there and a line there. And it's quite simple. I mean, I might even simplify this cabinet. I might just completely get rid of this cabinet. I don't know, maybe it's the split in there that I wanted that to just add some darkness to it. But there's something off about, I think it's the camera itself, that's making it look a bit strange as well, because it kind of looks like it's stretched and off center. And I have a feeling that's a camera issue and not the actual shape, because the shape is square. So I think it's to do with the focal length, which I'll have a look at next time. Oh god. Okay. So here's the render. It did a denoise thing at the end. That's kind of why it went bump, and then all the grain's gone. So, time to look. So, it's better, but still got issues in it. So, my first concern is that detail that's not visible at all. So it's like that was pointless. This is better, but I'm thinking I'm going to actually stylize this somehow. Maybe I'm going to give this some kind of, rather than it being just another bit of the wall, maybe I will make it some kind of like wooden shutter. But I don't know. The lighting in this bit is good, so if like the image, maybe it's almost like the composition should have been just kind of like that. Like maybe you could just compose it that way. But yeah, overall, it's definitely a step up from the last render. So what I'll do is if I save this as bathroom 2, and then close that down, I'm going to close the references, save them. I'm going to save the Blender project, and I'm going to say goodbye to that for now. So we have our 2 bathroom scenes, 1 and a 2. So, like I said earlier, it's about making that decision on whether or not the changes you make are better or worse. And excuse me, but I don't know, a little burp there. But looking at it, just stood back, I think the lighting is actually better in the first one, without that main light. I like the light and the shadows on this. I think it's better, personally. The colouring of the cabinet is better on this one, and the fact that you can, I don't know, yeah, I think the colour on this is better. I think the handles need to be, I think I'm going to change that from black to like a dark, just slightly darker than the colour of the cabinet. I think that is alright. It's definitely better than that streak kind of look. That doesn't look as good, does it, either? I guess that's the displacement. So the sink doesn't look as good. I think the sink needs its own material, when you can, so it can be controlled. Overall, I think this is, yeah, I don't know, I think the lighting's better in the first. And then there's certain bits that are better on this one. Like the shadowing of the cabinet looks a bit nicer in this one. But because of that bright light at the top, I think maybe that, the main light, I can have it modelled, but off. Like the switch will be off, so it would just be this light on. And then you don't get this thing. And then also, if the light has like a kind of casing around it, you won't get as much spill. It won't spread as far. Sorry, not spill. It won't spread as much. And I think that will look better. Yeah. Can you definitely see this? Yeah, you can. So yeah, I think overall good to make those changes, but that's how you learn. I think the lighting of this is better. But yeah, I mean, it's almost like it's just different sort of scenarios, really. I'm also now questioning whether the sharp edges are better on this or not. Maybe I went too hard on the bevel. I reckon maybe I did, yeah. I reckon, yeah, I reckon I'm going to bring it back to being sharp. Keep the color changes and the kind of the grain or whatever you would call it in the plaster, and then figure out a way of dealing with these kind of ripple effects, which I think is to do with the displacement and the denoiser kind of like conflicting. The light box doesn't look too bad. I think maybe it needs a bulb in there. And maybe the intensity needs to be brought down. But I think actually that looks pretty good. And then yeah, the main light. Okay, so that's it really. That's where we got to after that, all that time. Yeah, hopefully that was helpful. It was a long one because it, I messed up quite a lot at the start, but that's all part of it. So yeah, hopefully that was of benefit to you. And